Hey everyone, we are here at Pulse Conference 2022 and I have one other speaker that I can't wait to introduce to you.
Hi, I'm Tanya Strauss. I'm the Director of Customer Success at Druva.
Tanya has such an interesting life story, and that in fact was what the session was about, right?
That's right. I got to talk about my own career and my journey into customer success.
What was so special about the way you got introduced to customer success?
So I came into customer success. I had taken actually a 6-year career break. So I stayed home with my children for a while. Before my career break, I had worked in professional services and in pre-sales and sort of different parts of the enterprise. But customer success wasn't even a thing because before my career break, this is how old I am, most of the software that we sold was on-premise. So customer success didn't really exist. So that's how I got introduced to it. Is I was fortunate that a former manager of mine, when I was speaking to him about kind of what kinds of things should I be looking at, he said, I think you'd be great at this new thing called customer success. So I started reading all the customer success books from Gainsight and learned about it and eventually made my way to Gainsight after a brief stop at a different company. But I eventually worked for Gainsight and have worked my way up from an individual contributor CSM role, and now I'm a director.
That's amazing. And I remember meeting you when you were at Gainsight.
That's right.
And we had a joint client and just rocked it. She knew everything about the customer. You basically knew all their business outcomes, how they're quantifying it, whether they're quantifiable goals for the year. It was pretty impressive. And the client knew she knew.
Yeah, they definitely wanted a strong ROI on their investment with Gainsight. We had to prove a lot of metrics with them. It was a dicey but really fun experience. But
that was impressive. So no doubt this is one of the reasons why you got promoted. You're just so good at what you're doing. And I think you're just such a role model for a lot of women, because in those 6 years that you took a break, you didn't just take a break to go to the pool. You were actually raising kids.
I was, yeah. I had 2 little ones. I became a health coach in that time, which I thought was going to be my permanent career.
Aww.
But sometimes life throws curveballs, and I was able to get back into technology, which has been a lot of fun.
Would you say like a lot of women that we meet feel like they have to take a little bit of a pause to kind of like, raise their youngsters, and then they have even a greater pause about being able to go back to the workforce?
Oh yeah, it's extremely difficult. According to McKinsey, 1 in 4 professional women want to or try to take what they call a career off-ramp at some point in their careers. Yeah. And a lot of companies just really aren't supportive. So a lot of times what we see is that women leave the workforce. They certainly don't come back to the companies that they worked for before. They take big hits in their earning power. They take big hits in their financial future as far as retirement savings. So as companies, I think we really have a responsibility to try to provide the kind of flexible working environment the best that we can for women, so that women like me, women like you can try to juggle it all and have a career and also be there for our families.
Absolutely. And I got to say, as for one, I also took a couple of years off, and I felt like I actually had to go back to school, earn my master's degree so I can get myself back in. Otherwise, I didn't really feel like, after so many years break, like anybody would even take me seriously unless I had these fresh skills.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard. Looking at all the skills and trying to figure out which of the skills that we have in our arsenals are transferable. Hopefully, for me, I had worked in co-op preschools. Like I said, I became a health coach. So I definitely was flexing some of those business skills, but it wasn't immediately obvious how they could be transferable back into the technology world.
I'm curious, when you decided to get back, you mentioned how a previous manager told you about customer success as a function. Before that, did you have any other options in mind as to what might be other roles you would want to consider while getting back? And did something about customer success feel, hey, this is the right thing for me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I kind of assumed that I would go back into pre-sales or something like that, something like solutions engineering that I had been doing previously. But I was not excited about the fact that I worked in such a travel-oriented kind of field. Like everything I did, nothing was from home. There weren't really Zoom meetings at the time. So it was an all or nothing proposition. Either I'm going to be at home with my children or I'm going to be on the road full time. And I didn't really see how to balance that. So as far as what appealed to me about customer success, the other kind of former part of my career was professional services. And professional services is a lot of fun. And for someone like me with kind of a short attention span, it can be a lot of fun to go from 6-month project to 6-month project and kind of keep moving. But I never got to experience a customer actually enjoying customer outcomes. I never got to see, what does it look like? What does long-term value really look like? So that's something that really appealed to me about customer success, was the opportunity to see, how do customers really experience ROI, and what does it look like when they continue to renew and want to come back for more? So yeah, customer success definitely appealed to me from that point of view.
Well, we can talk all day about what women needs to do in order to please themselves in back to the workforce, but I think your session was really about what fiduciary responsibilities organizations have in order to set this movement to make it easier for women to come back to the workforce and have CEOs like Shri and myself and everybody, right? Say, are we really allowing and enabling these women to come back and offering them this opportunity to come back?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think some of the key benefits that we see companies offering today are longer parental leave, so that new parents, both mothers and fathers, families of all genders, have the ability to stay home with their children and kind of get used to being a parent, which is a really important thing. We see a lot more organizations just offering more flexible schedules in general, so that, oh my gosh, tomorrow's junior's got a big project due and now suddenly we need to hit target today. Like, those kinds of things can definitely throw a family for a loop. So having the flexibility just to be a parent and be able to be present in kind of both areas of life is really important. Those are some of the kind of key takeaways that I think are really important.
So I think it's more about even creating these roles where this flexibility can exist. Because I gotta say, I think maybe one of the main reasons I became a consultant is because now I control my own schedule and I can allow these gaps in my schedule to exist. If I need to go to chaperone a trip, or I need to, I don't know, go to the class and read a story, whatever the case might be. But I would say there's some positions where this is really hard to accommodate. You can't just leave for half a day or something like that. So what are we really saying that they, besides like the flexible work? Because really some jobs, they have harsh deadlines and it's a teamwork and you can't just really disappear.
That's true. I think in that case, then we want to make sure that we're modeling for our employees that they should be taking advantage of all of the PTO that they have available to them. Like, so many companies today offer unlimited PTO, which for a lot of people feels like really no PTO at all. Because since the company doesn't have any investment in it, it means that it can feel really, really difficult. So as managers, we want to model for our employees. Like, when I go on vacation, I truly unplug and I don't check in every 5 minutes and I don't check in at all, because that way my employees get the sense that when they go on vacation, I've modeled that behavior and that they have the ability to really unplug too. So those are some of the things I think we can think about.
Anything specific regarding CSMs and getting women out of their long period of out of the workforce? Anything that you would recommend the moms or even dads that took a leave of absence to be with their kids for a few years that want to come back to the workforce after a few years of break?
Yeah, I think that it's really important to follow thought leaders. So continue your networking, make sure that you're continuing to check in with customer success is the place that you want to be. Then follow Gainsight, follow CSM practice, follow Rocket Lane, follow all of the people who are really kind of leading the thought industry around customer success. Read all of the books and continue to network with people. I think that's so important, so that when you're ready to come back into the workforce, you kind of have something to lean on. The nice thing about customer success, there are lots of opportunities out here for certification as a CSM.
Right.
Some of those are specific, like the one that Gainsight offers through Silicon Valley Academy is specifically kind of oriented toward people who are career changers, so that we can bring people into the customer success community.
And I would say
there
that
are lots of resources like that.
And that program specifically, I know some companies actually sponsor it. Intellum, the booth next to us, actually donated 5 figures, whatever. I don't want to repeat the amount. I don't know if I can. But then after that, everybody that finished the certification actually had like video interviews, and they actually hired someone from that program. And so I think that program is not just about teaching the certification, but actually having companies in line that are willing to get someone from that program and hire them.
And
almost like an internship.
Yeah.
And one of them actually told me that he hired this person. It was a woman actually. Hired her from that program after she had a really good video interview, and she's one of their best employees.
That's amazing.
What a great story, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so hopefully this video gives a lot of hope to people that either had a long break or they want to just move to another career and they're not exactly sure how to do it. And if any CEOs are watching, there's some good tips here too. We all have a fiduciary responsibility to make this world better. So what a great session you probably had, huh?
Yeah, it was really good.
I feel lifted.
Awesome. Well, it's been so much fun talking to you guys today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, this video was sponsored by Rocket Lane. I want to thank Rocket Lane for sponsoring this video. Take care and thanks for watching.